Good evening everybody, myself Acharya Vishvendra, and today I'm going to discuss a worksheet on SHM. So let's begin the discussion. The first question is SHM periodic? So yes, it is periodic. Next question is periodic motion necessarily SHM? So no, there may be periodic motions which are not SHM. Next question is conditions for SHM. So conditions for SHM are given by F is equals to minus of Kx if mean position is taken at origin, and it is if the mean position is at x naught, the condition is F is equals to minus Kx minus x naught. Then we have next force versus x graph. So that will be a straight line like this with negative slope, and if this angle is theta, we can say that tan theta will be equal to k. Then if we have three different cases 1, 2 and 3, so corresponding to the greatest angle we have the greatest k, so as we can visualize over here. Next question is for which graph k is maximum. So as we can see that 1 corresponds to the maximum k. Then question is for which graph k is minimum, so it corresponds to graph 3. Then it's ascending order of k, so it's like k3 less than k2 less than k1, as it is evident from the graph itself. Then we have the descending order of k, so it's k1 greater than k2 greater than k3. Then is if f is equals to kx, we need to find acceleration, so substitute f as ma. So we have ma is equals to minus of kx, so a is minus of kx by m. Then we need to find the angular frequency. So for that, acceleration is minus omega square x, which is minus k upon m into x. So from here omega square will be k by m, so omega will be root over k by m. The next is we need to find the omega versus k graph. So as we can see that omega is proportional to root k, so the graph will be parabolic in shape and it will turn toward the k axis. Then we have three different cases, so we can observe that omega is proportional to 1 by root m if I make k as constant. So just draw a line perpendicular to k axis. So because of this, k will be same for all the three curves. So we can say that omega is proportional to 1 by root m. So larger the value of omega, smaller will be the value of the mass. So we can say from the graph that omega 1 corresponds to the greatest value. So the order is like omega 1 greater than omega 2 greater than omega 3. So mass will follow the reverse order. So we have m1 less than m2 less than m3. The next question is which graph corresponds to greatest mass. So obviously m3 corresponds to the greatest mass as we have calculated over here. Then is which graph corresponds to the largest mass. So m1 corresponds to the largest mass, least mass, sorry. Then is arrange masses in increasing order, so that will be like m1 less than m2 less than m3. The next question is if we draw the omega versus m graph, so it will be inversely related, so it will be having a shape like rectangular hyperbola as shown over here. Then we have to find k analysis from three different curves. So the question is which graph corresponds to the highest k. So obviously omega here is proportional to root k, so we draw a graph perpendicular to the m axis, that makes m constant. So now omega is proportional to root k. So more the value of omega, more will be the value of k. So from here we can see that k1 is greater than k2 greater than k3. So as we can see that k1 corresponds to the greatest k. Then k3 corresponds to the least k. If we arrange them in increasing order, it will be like k3 less than k2 less than k1. And if we arrange them in decreasing order, it will be like k1 greater than k2 greater than k3. So that will be the analysis. Now is to find time period. So time period is 2 pi by omega. So after substitution, that will be like 2 pi root m by k. Next question is graph of t versus m. So t is proportional to root m. So graph here will be a parabola. Then we have t versus k graph. So t is inversely related to k. So it will be having a shape like rectangular hyperbola. If we increase k, t will decrease. So graph will be like this. Then we have t versus root m graph for three different cases. So that will be a straight line like shown here. And next question is dimensions of time period will be m0, l0, t1. So in this way you have seen that we have discussed a number of questions in a video of 4 to 5 minutes. So it's just to optimize your time and energy and cross check your preparation. In case of any doubt, you can ask in the comment section. Thank you and have a nice day.